is a water bottle that we can really leave for our audience this week that are wrestling with this idea of how do we live this out in the midst of this world? I mean, we gain this missionary perspective, and perspective changes how we live, hopefully, in the middle of this world. But how can we help our people hold on to one core truth this week that they can really take home and sip on so that they might be nourished in their walk with Jesus?
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, my hope is in what Jesus said in Matthew 16, that the church that he is building, not even the gates of hell will prevail against it. And the church then strikes me as the center of the advance of the kingdom through the people that compose that church, and that church taking expression in local churches that see themselves as ambassadors, as signposts of the kingdom, as those who are to gather in worship and for discipleship and scatter on mission. I think as that happens, there is a refreshing trajectory that doesn't let go of either the things that we are disciplining ourselves towards in biblical fidelity, teaching doctrine, and all the things that we reinforce in our gathering, but also doesn't see it as something separated, a dichotomy of belief and action. And so even throughout, as we've been talking, as I conclude the book in the chapter, I kind of tip my hand to saying, look, I've been saying that we're going to look at this particular room through a missionary lens, but I think if Newbegin read my book, he would critique me on that very point, saying it's not that there's a lens of mission that we can choose to opt in on, but the Church of Jesus Christ is implicitly missional. It is part of the triune mission of God to make the name of God and the worship of him known as the water covers the sea. It's what God has called into being in Christ and by the Spirit, and what he has set as the signpost of the kingdom that one day he will consummate. And so when I think about church, if you want to call it a water bottle, I kind of cheekily say all the things that we talked about in different types of church, whether it's mega church or belief-focused church or micro church or house church. I hate all that language, to be honest, because every time we add an adjective or some sort of a attribute of this particular church, it's the attribute that gets our attention, not the churchness. And so I want to call us back to just church. And maybe that's going to take the forms that it meets in a house. Maybe that's going to be a, quote unquote mega church, but neither of those are exempt from the expectations, responsibilities, demands of the Church of Jesus Christ to be in and for the place that he has put it, sovereignly trusting the reign of his kingdom to be manifest through the saints who gather and scatter on mission. So let's just be churches and not necessarily any particular brand of church.